With the NFL draft being only 10 days away, I'm going to go ahead and release my second to last mock draft. My last mock draft will be released next Monday. So this will be my second to last mock draft. But before we get into the actual mock draft, make sure to drop a like. Can we get to, let's say, 51 likes? Can we get to 51 likes? I know you guys love these mock drafts, so can we get to 51 likes? And also be sure to click that little notification bell, because I do go live every single day. I stream, and usually I just pretty much play games, and people ask me questions, football related, not football related. I mean, whatever you want, I'll usually answer them unless they're weird. Anyways, make sure you do that, and without further ado, here is the mock draft. With the 4th pick in the 3rd round, I have the Texans selecting Mike Gesicki, tight end out of Penn State. So now we obviously know C.J. Fedorowicz is retired. Good for him. Like, seriously, he had to retire. Those concussions aren't no joke. And now we're left with a hole at the tight end position. I know a lot of people like Ryan Griffin. I do too, but I see Ryan Griffin more as a number 2 tight end. I don't see him as a number 1. And as for Steven Anderson, I also like him, but I see him more of a situational type of player. A player you can throw in there in certain situations to be a mismatch. We don't have that clear-cut number 1. Now, Mike Gesicki, he can be at number 1. He's everything you want in a pass-catching tight end. He's got the size, the speed, route running, the hands, everything when it comes to a pass-catching aspect of a tight end. He's got. His only issue, he is not that good of a run blocker. And I think that's something the Texans kind of need. But just looking at how good of a pass catcher Gesicki is, I could look past that and maybe he develops as a run blocker later down the line. But as a pure pass catcher, this guy is really good. So, I mean, the Texans need a tight end, so why not take a tight end with our first pick in the 3rd round? As for our second pick in the 3rd round, the 16th overall one, I had the Texans selecting Duke Dawson, corner out of Florida. Now, I've talked about Duke Dawson before. The guy plays really well. He was primarily used as a nickel corner in college, but he can play outside. Just the way he plays the ball, he doesn't quit. Like, if someone catches the ball, he's gonna rip that ball out. Like, this guy don't care. Yes, he's 5'10", but I mean, Chris Harris is like 5'11". I mean, height doesn't really matter all that much when you can get a player of Duke Dawson's skill level this late in the draft. I mean, why not? Like, his only issue is literally height. That's why he's not being regarded as a top corner. So, yeah, Duke Dawson, talked about him before. And with the 34th pick in the 3rd round, another guy, I think I've picked this guy in every single one of my mock drafts, and it's Alex Kappa, offensive tackle out of Humboldt State. Again, Texans need offensive tackles. Julian Davenport could be the guy, he could not. Shantro Henderson, I just don't see him being a starting right tackle. Now, Alex Kappa could come in here, be a starting left tackle. You could start at right tackle. Again, how I've been saying in my previous mock drafts, the only real issue with him is he comes from a smaller school, so the skill gap between small college to the NFL is pretty huge, so he has to get accustomed to that. I don't know if, I guess, a whole season from where he's getting drafted, a whole off season, I mean, from where he got drafted up until week 1. I'm not sure if that will be enough to get him ready, but I do see this guy being a 10-year starter in the NFL eventually, maybe after his first year. He is more of sort of like a project guy, but if you really had to, you could start him day 1. And if we're being honest, I mean, he is not going to be worse than Jacomini or Chris Clark, so it can't get any worse. With the 3rd overall pick in the 4th round, I have the Texans selecting Braden Smith, guard out of Auburn. Now, Braden Smith, he does everything well. He's just solid offensive lineman, a solid guard. I mean, he's not gonna be amazing. He's not. Obviously, he's not Zach Martin or Quentin Nelson, or else he would have gone early in the draft. But this is a solid guy. Better run blocker than pass blocker. Still a pretty solid pass blocker though. All around solid. Yes, the Texans did pick up Senor Calameti. They picked up, what's his name? Zach Fulton. They got Nick Martin, who's also another possibility at guard. They decided to put Fulton at center. But as of right now, I don't know if Senor Clemente is going to be a solid starting offensive guard. He could be, and I hope he is. I like the pickup of Senor Clemente, but again, you cannot keep risking it. At some point, you just gotta do something about it. Bringing in Braden Smith and Alex Kappa is doing something about it, because if the free agent acquisitions don't work out, then hey, maybe Braden Smith will. And I do think Braden Smith could eventually be a starter for us. He could honestly be a starter for us on day one if Senor Calameti doesn't work out, if we see it early in the season or in the preseason, or if for whatever reason Nick Martin goes down again, we just slide in Fulton at center and then boom, plug in Braden Smith and we'll be good. So I think it's a good value pick to pick Braden Smith right here. Probably one of my favorite linemen out there that we could realistically get. And with the third pick in the 6th round, because we don't have a 5th round pick, boys, I'm taking Armani Watts, safety out of Texas A&M. Now, Armani Watts is really what you want in a safety. He could play either or, because he has the ball skills to be a free safety, that cover ability, and he can also be that other tougher safety, that more physical safety. His only issues, I would say, is sometimes he's not that good at tackling, but that's something he could work on in the pros. That's something he will work on in the pros. I'm not too worried about that. And he gambles a bit too much for my liking. Sometimes he gambles and it gives a big play. I hope in the NFL he can learn to be a little bit more conservative. If he can, he could be a really good safety for us, man. And picking him this late in the 6th round, or in the 6th round, I mean, it could be an absolute steal. I don't know how he fell. And with the 37th pick in the 6th round, I have the Texans selecting Kiki Kuti, wide receiver out of Texas Tech. I've picked this guy for like my past 3 mock drafts, honestly. I just like the guy. He could play outside, he could play in the slot, he could be a kick returner. He can just pretty much do it all. I have no issue with him. I've talked about him before, so I really like that pick. And with the 40th pick in the 6th round, I have the Texans selecting Troy Apke, strong safety out of Penn State. Now, Troy Apke, extremely fast. He's that white guy you guys saw on the combine run that extremely fast 40. Everyone was kind of like, what the hell? Well, this guy is, I'd say, average at best at what he does, but what I'm really bringing him in for is to be a special teamer. This guy can fly down the field and make some tackles for us on special teams. Who knows, maybe he develops into a starting safety, who knows. I really don't think he will, because in my opinion he just needs to get good at everything, honestly. He needs to be better in coverage, better at pursuing after players, as in terms of running for a tackle, to the sideline or something. And his ball skills aren't that good. Not that good of a run stopper. So this guy, it's kind of hard to see him being successful in the league as a starter. But what I can see him being extremely successful is as a special teamer. The Texans have had issues with special teams for what seems like forever. Bringing in Troy Apke could really just fix that. Honestly, I feel like he could be that type of player for us on special teams. We already got, Johnson Batamosi. So, bringing in another player that can fly down the field and go make a tackle, disrupt the play on special teams, I mean, why not? in the 6th round, odds are you're not going to get a starter. It's going to be really, really hard. So why not take a special team specialist? And with the 4th pick in the 7th round, I have the Texans selecting Joe Ostman, edge rusher out of Central Michigan. I've said it before, Texans need some situational pass rushers. Because besides Clowney, besides Watt, besides Merciless, who do we have? No one. So, Ostman, he's just a guy. He's just does everything decent, but this late in the draft, a guy that's just going to be decent, who could be a situational pass rusher, who could go in there late in the game where everyone's tired and he's still fresh, he can cause some damage, man. So, yeah, that's pretty much my mock draft 4.0. We'll be back next week, next Monday, with my final mock draft. So, we're finally getting there, boys. We're finally getting to the draft. It's about damn time, honestly, because it's been quite a wait. What sucks about it, though, is the wait between like Super Bowl to the draft feels like forever, but the wait between the draft and the start of the preseason is way longer, so that always sucks. Anyways, guys, if you stuck around this long, thank you. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.